You are listening to The Standards Desk of News from The Standard Show, the podcast that brings you the stories behind the standards with Matthew Childs and Cindy Parakill.
Hey, Cindy Parakill.
Hey, Matthew Childs.
Well, shall we have the Standards Desk of News?
Yep, let's do it.
Yes, this is the Standards Desk of News. News about standards and standards in the news. And this time, a slightly longer edition of the news, as we are covering stories from December 2024 and January 2025.
And we start with suicide prevention.
Yes, BSI has begun work on a pioneering standard aimed at suicide prevention, recognising that keeping people safe during their most vulnerable moments is a shared responsibility. According to the World Health Organization, every year over 720,000 people worldwide die by suicide, with more than 1 in 20 attempting it at some point in their lives. These tragedies leave lasting impacts on families, friends and colleagues, who often grapple with complex feelings of guilt, regret and stigma. Inspired by the World Health Organization's call for open dialogue on suicide during World Suicide Prevention Day, and the UK government's recent cross-sector strategy emphasising that suicide is everyone's business, BSI is seeking to create a robust framework to guide organisations in their prevention efforts. When developed, the standard BS 9988 will provide practical guidance for organisations of all sizes to implement prevention, intervention and support strategies. It will address sensitive communications, offer case studies, and highlight when specialist expertise is required. Now, the SEN and SENELEC Standards Plus Innovation Awards.
December 2024 saw the 6th edition of the SEN and SENELEC Standards Plus Innovation Awards. The awards acknowledge and celebrate the important contributions of researchers, innovators, and entrepreneurs to standardization. Nominations for these awards come from the 34 SEN and SENELEC national members. Awards are presented in 4 categories. The Annual Project Award recognizes a European research or innovation project that contributes to standardization, while the Individual Researcher Innovation Award honors someone who successfully introduces their research or innovation into standardization. The Young Researcher Award is given to a student under 30 for academic work related to standardization, and the Biennial Technical Body Officer Award recognizes someone who collaborates effectively with researchers and within their technical body. One of the Young Researcher Awards went to Helena Rosario da Costa, a PhD candidate at the University of Lisbon, for her research on the AI Policy Maturity Model, which assesses the readiness of EU member states to implement responsible AI governance and policies. Congratulations to Helena and indeed all the award winners. More details are in the show notes.
Yes, congratulations indeed.
New fire safety standard.
One of the UK's most used fire safety standards has been fully revised to provide the most comprehensive and up-to-date recommendations for fire safety in residential buildings, following a lengthy consultation process with relevant stakeholders. Revisions to BS 9991, Fire Safety in the Design, Management and Use of Residential Buildings, were underway ahead of the Grenfell Tower Report publication in September 2024 as part of the normal process of updating and revising standards. The Grenfell tragedy and the subsequent inquiry and report brought the issue of building safety into focus for the whole sector and beyond. While the Grenfell report did not make any specific recommendations for changes to BS 9991, it re-emphasised the importance of comprehensive and up-to-date building safety and standards. The updated BS 9991 guides the design, installation and maintenance of fire safety systems in residential buildings, ensuring that effective escape routes and fire safety measures are in place to protect occupants and enhance overall safety. Enhancing railway passenger ride comfort.
Railway travel has long been celebrated for its efficiency and environmental benefits. Yet passenger experience, particularly ride comfort, remains a crucial aspect for improving rail systems. The recently updated European standard EN 12299 provides a groundbreaking methodology for evaluating and enhancing ride comfort in rail vehicles. Passenger ride comfort is a complex sensation influenced by vehicle vibrations, roll velocities, and lateral jerks transmitted through the body. EN 12299 focuses exclusively on these physical factors, offering methods to assess how rail vehicle motions impact passengers. Developed for rail operators and manufacturers, it introduces advanced methods to ensure passenger comfort is measurable, repeatable, and aligned with modern rail technologies. For example, for tilting trains, specific assessments of curve transition comfort also ensure smoother journeys on winding routes.
Curve transition comfort. You just gotta love standards.
You have indeed. Now, gathering experiences of COVID career starters.
Young people who began their careers around the start of the COVID-19 pandemic or soon after are being invited to share their experiences of the workplace as part of an inquiry into the hybrid generation. To mark 5 years since the first lockdowns began globally, BSI is investigating the impact of the restrictions on younger workers and how transformed ways of working have shaped subsequent career journeys. As part of this, BSI has launched a public call for evidence, inviting submissions from individuals or groups with relevant experience on the topic. BSI's inquiry will look at areas including job satisfaction, mental and psychological well-being, frequency of job changes, and earning potential, as well as exploring how hybrid management is shaping skills development and career progression. The aim is to understand what steps can be taken to ensure younger workers can thrive and play a productive part in their organisations and supporting the economy more broadly. And finally, have your say on natural capital accounting.
Yes, the standard ISO 14054, Natural Capital Accounting for Organizations, is currently out for public consultation. Natural capital accounting is a systematic way of collating financial, socioeconomic, and environmental information about an organization's impact and dependencies on nature and presenting it in formats that are familiar to decision makers. Part of the ISO 14000 series on environmental management, the development of ISO 14054 is a response to a growing need for standardized approaches, metrics, and analysis to assess and value natural capital. Get involved and have your say now.
Yes, and details of how to do so are in the show notes, as are the links to some of the other stories we have featured today. And the show notes are also where you can find details of our socials and all the other ways to get in touch with us here on The Standard Show. Well, thank you, Cindy Parakill.
Thank you, Matthew Childs.
For December 2024 and January 2025, that's the Standards Desk of News.
You have been listening to The Standards Desk of News from The Standard Show, the podcast that brings you the stories behind the standards.
You just heard a Stripped Media production.